Well, with us right now, I'd like to welcome Jonathan Emmanuel Alsbury. He's the guest artist and rehearsal director for Lar Lubavitch Legend of 10 Part 1. This is going to be held at the Claire Trevor, and it's going to be on the 23rd to the 25th. Welcome, sir. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you as well. Thanks for having me.
Well, first of all, I was talking with him just a second ago before we got in the air to kind of get to know him. And tell me about your background. And reading that you are a guest artist, I assume you don't go to UCI.
No, I do not. I am currently teaching at UCI. I'm teaching technique classes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Modern
Very good.
technique, 3 and 4 levels. I'm here because Lar Lubavitch has been honored as Distinguished Professor at the university, and I am his rehearsal director, ballet master, and repetiteur. I go across the country and set different works of his, as well as teaching master classes at different educational universities and facilities like that.
Okay, I have not heard of this person, so tell me about their background a little bit.
So Lar is an amazing choreographer. He's the company is celebrating its 49th season this year.
Wow.
Yes, so we're looking very much forward to our 50th anniversary next year.
And it's a traveling company.
It is. It's
okay.
a touring company. We tour all across the globe, done many different cities and countries.
Oh, cool.
You may know him. He choreographed the work, The Red Shoes, the Broadway production,
Sure.
a while back, as well as the first revival of King and I, and Into the Woods.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
obviously he doesn't just do this modern interpretation stuff.
No.
He does everything.
Everything from Broadway
Wow.
to ice dancing. He choreographed a work called The Planets a while back for ice dancing. One of the first choreographers to do ice dancing as opposed to figure skating.
So tell me about your background.
I've began dancing at a very young age. My mother's a dancer. I'm from Illinois, Normal, Illinois.
Normal.
Yes.
Isn't there a series about that?
I think it might be Normal, Indiana.
Okay, it's Normal something.
But yes, I am from Normal, Illinois. My mother's a dancer. She taught me everything, gave me my foundation in dance, and from then I went on to go to high school in Chicago and to graduate from Juilliard in New York City.
Wow.
Which is actually where I was first introduced to Lar Lubavitch. The Lamone Company was dancing some of his work, and I got to see that, as well as the school was dancing some of his work at that time, and I instantly fell in love. And since then, I've been dancing with the companies from 2007 until now.
Wow. Well, you must be very good. The fact that you got accepted to Juilliard. I mean, right there alone, it's pretty impressive. So tell me about this performance, The Power of 10. Legend of 10, Part 1.
Yes. So this work is to Johannes Brahms. It's his piano quintet. It's actually for piano and strings. Originally, it was just written for strings, and then he just did it for a dual piano. This is Brahms, and then he put it together for a final version for piano and for strings. Lar likes to say that, in map making, a legend is the use of the characters to tell where things are on the map. And so this work is exactly that. It's the dancers are mapping the music emotionally and orally, what you hear. So that's what he's intending you to see, is a map of the music. And it's made for 10 dancers, and they kind of navigate the space and the emotional terrain of the music. It's a really, really stunning work, and I love Brahms's music. It's always so bombastic and big and full, and he captures that in the work. I think it's a magical thing. And another tidbit about Lar is something that really sets him apart and distinguishes him as a choreographer is his use of circles. Most all of his dances have this idea of a circle that kind of goes around this way. It's always connected, and I like to tell people, see if you can count how many circles you see in the dance, whether it be spatially or physically with the dancers. So that's
So
really
as far as the dance goes, is it modernism? Is it jazz? You were telling me it's ballet.
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of ballet dance, and that's one of the things that really attracted me to his work. This particular work has essence of everything. It has ballet technique in there, has modern technique, it's got a little bit of jazz technique in there as well. Lar's a dancer who doesn't have his own set technique, but he also went to Juilliard and studied under Martha Graham and Jose Lamone. These were his teachers, Anthony Tudor. And so all of those things have come together to create the work that he generates. No two dances of his are really the same. He always generates something very, very different each time. Depicting the music is always originally as a painter, actually. Before he even danced,
Wow.
he was and even to this day, a very accomplished painter. And you really see that in his work, that he's painting the movement on, like, moving picture. Like, the dancers are the brushstrokes, and you get to see a picture in life. It's really, really
So
magical.
this is set to Brahms, and is it one long dance? Is it several?
So we will be doing part 1 of 2.
Okay.
The dance was premiered in 2010 on the company. I was a part of that original cast that
Okay.
created it. So there are 2 sections to the work. We will just be presenting the first section of that.
Okay. And about how long is it? A couple hours
This
or so?
dance, the Lars piece is about 12 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And it will close the program.
So there's a lot to this
Yes,
program.
there's lots
Okay.
of different choreographers in there. Donald McHale, who's
Okay.
also a distinguished professor at the university, who is actually one of the first companies that Lar ever danced for, was Donald McHale, back when he was performing still. So that's a really fun.
So this will
interesting
have
fact
several
there.
pieces involved,
Yes, I
and
believe
you
there's
are
5.
part of the last one?
We are the final work,
Okay.
yes.
Now, you mentioned that you travel around.
Mm-hmm.
When you folks travel around, is it all together doing these 5 different pieces, or it's just your part?
So the traveling that I was referring to is with the Lar Lubavitch Dance Company.
Okay.
And his company, when we travel, we'll tour and we'll dance 3, 4, sometimes 5 of his works
Okay.
in one evening, just in different theaters around the globe.
Being the type of dance that this is, obviously it's well choreographed,
Mm-hmm.
but is there some interpretation involved, and can each dance be a little bit different in that way?
You mean by the onlooker?
The dancers, are you free to maybe change things up a little bit?
So physically, not so much.
Okay.
He's very specific in the way of a painter in the design
Right.
of what we're seeing or what the audience is seeing. But in terms of what you're feeling and the emotion or the interpretation of the work, when Lar's looking for dancers, he always chooses dancers that have something he calls movement imagination.
Mm-hmm.
So this is someone who he'll give you a step, he'll give you a phrase, and they'll give something back to him that's something more than what he asked for.
Okay.
Giving it a broader meaning or a deeper understanding for the dancer. So he doesn't dictate what he wants you to feel specifically in these moments. He leaves it up to you as an artist.
Okay.
So I feel very lucky to have worked with him for so long, because it's challenged me and forced my artistry to grow in ways that otherwise would not be if there were someone who is more dictating in terms of exactly what you should feel.
Now, as far as your background goes, have you done other dance work, what I would say more traditional, meaning and
Yes.
Broadway and that sort of thing?
I have done musicals, lots of musicals growing up. That was actually one of my first loves, was doing musical theater. And then I went to Juilliard and became very focused in concert dance. I also work for a choreographer, Azure Barton, who lives in California now, up in the LA area. She has a touring company as well, touring all around the country and the globe. But she's a very well-known choreographer for many other companies as well. But living in New York, we work with many different choreographers to make a living there. It's kind of a freelance type of situation. So I've been fortunate to be able to stick with these 2 choreographers for the majority of my career.
Yeah, that's nice. And as far as your time here at UCI, is it that you're helping to teach, or is it just for this performance, then you're moving on, or do you do other classes?
I'm joining here just for this quarter.
Okay.
I'm here setting this work and teaching these modern courses to the students, which has been incredibly rewarding, just seeing all these incredible dancers grow and learn over this 10-week period. After this, for the spring term, or the spring quarter rather, another assistant, Katarzyna Skarpatowska, who's pictured here right in the center, she will be joining LAR for that quarter. Also teaching rep classes, where we'll teach other courses, other dances of Lars to the students, just to give them a taste of what he does and what his work is, the breadth of his work.
And then do you move on to a different?
Yes, I have many
college?
other projects coming up after this. I go teach in Japan for a little while, and I have some Broadway choreographers I'll be working with in New York on new projects, and back to Chicago to teach and do a couple performances there.
That's amazing. So
yeah.
you really travel around.
Oh
a
yes,
lot.
I barely keep a place. I've had a place in New York for about 3-4 years now in one place, and I want to say I've spent maybe like 6 months there total over the past 2 years. So
Yeah.
it's been a lot of traveling, but it's nice to have a place to come home to.
Well, thank you very much for stopping by.
Thank you. This was
been
wonderful.
a pleasure
Yeah.
to meet you. And I want to, I misspoke. I said it was at the Claire Trevor Theater. It's not. It is Claire Trevor School of the Arts, but it's at the Irvine Barclay Theater.
Yes, and tickets are $20 for seniors, so it's very
fantastic.
affordable.
Yes. You know, everything's always affordable. I mean, it's amazing.
They do their best.
That whole department over there is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
The website, arts.uci.edu/tickets. That's where you get information. The phone number is 949-824-2787. And it goes from February 23rd to 25th. There's the information on the screen. Sounds like it's going to be a very fun event, great music, expert dancers, and you're going to have a great time. And I think it's wonderful how they just bring people in as guest artists, guest instructors. It's what makes the school and the Claire Trevor School of the Arts in particular just so fantastic.
And there's live music on the show. I mean,
yes.
That's my favorite thing to dance. My favorite thing is dancing to live music and being in a theater with live music and dance.
Yeah,
so.
you make a good point, because in many cases nowadays, you don't have live music.
Exactly. It's a luxury almost.
It is. Good to meet you, John.
Good to meet you too.
You take care.
Thanks so much.
And we'll be right back.